All right, we back up in here. Welcome to another edition of Gen Sports Corner back at you for August 17th, 2022. Hey, man, you see the gear right now. Just came back from Vegas. Really blessed to be able to visit Mecca, go to my stomping grounds and just see Raider Nation, man. It was a great time. Eagles, great win last Friday over the Jets. Really like what I saw. And yes, I did watch it from Las Vegas, and I really liked a lot of things I saw out there. So we're going to talk about those two things: Eagles, Jets, and then the Raiders Vikings preseason game that just happened this past week. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Let me go, talk about my Raiders real quick. You know what I mean? Since I'm just getting back from there, we haven't seen Derek Carr this whole season. Haven't seen him yet. We've seen Josh Jacobs. We haven't seen Devontae Adams either. But we've seen Josh Jacobs. We've seen this mismatching of the offensive line as we try to figure out who's going to be where, what's going to be what. I like what I saw out of Josh Jacobs in the first week. I really liked the hard running, look fast, look sharp. The cuts were there, low in the shoulder, everything was good. We didn't see Darren Waller either, but we saw Fabian Monroe. Uh, he looked sharp, looked exactly like what I expected out of him as a number two tight end. But we saw a lot of Jarrett Stidham, who was a former fourth round pick of the New England Patriots. And he's looked solid. He definitely needs to work on reading the field, getting the ball out quicker, but he has that athleticism. He's able to make some plays out the pocket, and he's been hitting some guys downfield. So, we were moving, we were putting up points against the Vikings. Nothing really to see there. And then defensively, we didn't see a lot of them, but obviously you have that tandem in Max Crosby on one side and then Chandler on the other side. I mean, Chandler Jones on the other side. So you're talking about a pass rush that is really going to heat up this year. I mean, like, you think this Eagles pass rush is going to be crazy. Look at the improvements the Raiders made to their pass rush, which was damn near non existent last year. I mean, we couldn't catch a cold, let alone catch a quarterback. And now you got two monsters. One guy with just a crazy motor. One of the craziest motors I've seen in the league in a while. I mean, he never stops, ever. Max Crosby, he's one of them dudes. Okay? So, Jonathan Abram, he is who he is. He's a headhunter. Hopefully, he can stay healthy, keep the shoulders right. Look, he is who he is. He brings a certain energy. You know that when you're coming across the middle, he's looking to make people pay with a pound of flesh. It's who he is. And I don't want to change the way he plays. However, hopefully he can be a little more mindful of like not trying to launch himself into people in the preseason and keeping the copacetic. So all in all, I like what I see out the Raiders so far, and I'm looking forward to our game versus the Dolphins. They said Tua threw like 5 interceptions in the past two practices, so he wants to get a chance to start against the Raiders. More power to him. Hopefully, we can come in and get some solid work and see Derek Carr and Devontae Adams and Darren Waller get at least one or two series, so they can get that consistency, get that rapport with each other. But that being said, I mean, Derek Carr and Devontae Adams had at least 1 year together at Fresno State, so they obviously know each other. They obviously have had that chemistry, have had great moments on the field, so I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be absolutely fine. So that's my update for Raider Nation. I love what I'm seeing. And then we're going to go ahead and switch on over to the Eagles because I'm back on the East Coast. We back at it. I'm looking to see what Jalen Hurts is going to do in the second game because I like what I saw last Friday. Last Friday against the Jets, got one solid drive, 6 for 6, looked really sharp, had a rushing touchdown brought back because of a penalty, and then came back and threw a touchdown to Dallas Goedert, who, look, great catch, but can we not jump in the air backwards and risk getting injured? Can we not do that in the preseason, please, for all Eagles fans out there? Because I don't know about you, but that made me nervous just seeing him do that. You're jumping in the air and landing backwards. Like, you don't know if you can hurt your arm. Whatever, man. Great play by Dallas Goddard. And they look sharp, man. So many weapons. It, you can see the difference that A.J. Brown is making out there already. Just his presence on the field was able to pull the coverage up the field and allow Dallas Goddard to be able to get open on that end route. Just cutting across the field, nice easy catch and touchdown, man. Right? That's going to be, I think we're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see AJ Brown clear out space for Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. Hell, you're going to see Quez Watkins clear out space for all of those guys. Jalen Hurts getting out the pocket, being able, and I talked about this in my last video when I had Ryan on with me. We talked about specifically how Jalen Hurts does a very poor job of scanning back across the field after he goes through his first progression. I think I put that video up recently, but I talked about, I believe it's I think it's the stretch concept where you have one route um, going vertical, a 9 route, taking the coverage with it. You have one route coming out the backfield or into the flat, like this, and then you have an intermediate route going to the flat. So you have 3 levels of the defense that you're attacking. You're attacking 3 levels of the defense, and you're looking for who's going to be open out of the flat or on the intermediate angle route to the sideline. So whichever space is occupied by the defender, if the defender takes the intermediate route, you go to the flat. If the defender comes up and takes the flat, you go over his head to the intermediate route. Okay, and the Eagles like to run this concept a lot. We saw it a lot last year with Jalen Hurts, and we saw it in that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, and I mentioned this. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they noticed this, they saw it, and they were very well prepared for it. Not just for the concept, but also for the fact that Jalen Hurts, I mean, here's the route on this side, here's the intermediate route going out, and here's the flat route. He looks over to his routes. Bam, that's covered. Bam, that's covered. Because they had 3 receivers, and what the Buccaneers were doing, they were flooding that zone with 4 defenders to effectively counteract that concept, that route concept. So once they took that away, Jalen Hurts would then scramble outside. He wouldn't look back over to the middle of the field to see any of the other routes developing. And that was such a point of emphasis for the Bucs that they emptied the middle of the field. They just took the sidelines away. They took away that route concept, and he said, "You're not going to look back to the middle of the field. You don't have the presence of mind to do so." And that's something that I saw him do on Friday, and it's almost like he heard me. A similar concept, and then he scrambles out, and guess what? He turns back to the left, and he sees Quez Watkins cutting across the field and hits him for a 15-plus yard gain, maybe even 20 yards. Those are the little details, the nuances that you need to see him improve upon. And that was a very good sign, because the concern was that we were seeing some improvements with the arm strength and accuracy, but all in all, we were still seeing the same guy that would scramble out the pocket to make a play, as opposed to sitting in the pocket and making a throw in the heat of battle. So that's something I liked, and he looked very sharp on that drive. I love that. And then defensively, a name we mentioned, Kaiser White, immediately making an impact. We saw it in practice, or we heard about it in practice, and he comes out and immediately locks in on the quarterback's eyes, jumps the route, and he takes this pass from Zach Wilson almost to the house. You know what I mean? Gets you a nice 15, 20-yard return. We haven't had a linebacker with those instincts and that speed in a long time. And there's a reason why Nakobe Dean hasn't been getting first-team reps. It's because Kaiser White has been playing, he's been balling out. You know what I mean? Some of our, and I believe TJ Edwards, been balling out. So you have guys that are playing at a high level. So the fact that you have depth right now is just fantastic. It's something we haven't had in a while at that spot. The linebacker core is revamped, and I think the dividends are showing so far. It's just preseason, but that is definitely what you want to see. And then Jordan Davis, I mean, he did it in practice, at the open practice, and he just did it again today. In that Jets game, where he pushed the man so far off his spot, he couldn't deal with Jordan Davis. Too big, too strong, too physical. And then there was another play where they ran a stretch to the left. Jordan Davis gets off his blocks, gets penetration into the backfield, gets a hand on the runner, causes the runner to spin around and change direction, and then guess who's there to clean up and get that tackle? N'Kobe Dean. It almost looked like frame for frame the way that they would set up plays and get stops for no gain at Georgia. It looked like they might as well have been wearing the Georgia Bulldogs uniforms again. The way they executed that play, it's like they just picked up right where they left off. I love what I saw out the defense. I love what I saw out the defense, and I feel really good about the improvements that they've made, and it's showing. It's showing on the field. That's more important than ever. It's showing. So let me know what you guys think about the Eagles' first preseason game versus the Jets, the Raiders' preseason win versus the Vikings, and then last but not least, I'm going to end this off by talking about a little bit of boxing because I will be dropping a full length video most likely this Friday for the rematch in Abu Dhabi between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. The rematch. Alexander Usyk winning 3 belts from Joshua, taking the belts last time in the first fight, and they running it back. So I'm looking forward to that fight. I want to see what Joshua has done in training camp. I want to see how he looks on the pads. I want to see how he looks at the face-off when he come in. What's the energy like? Is he feeling himself? Is he locked in? Is he ready? Is he going to be aggressive? Is he going to take the fight to Usyk? Or are we going to have a repeat of what we saw the first time? That's why I want to see his mannerisms. I want to see exactly what his energy is when he steps into that stadium for the first time. When they meet eye to eye. That's what I need to see. And then I want to see the open workout. I want to see the pad work. I want to see what he's looking like on the heavy bag, some of the sparring footage. I want to see everything. You know what I mean? To really get a feel for what this fight's about to be. But either way, it's going to be a great fight. Anthony Joshua went through adversity like this versus Andy Ruiz. Lost all 3 belts then. Got stunned in that fight. He got stunned in that fight, bruh. And he came back and he reclaimed the titles. He made the adjustments. He did the things he's supposed to do. He slimmed down, came in, used that jab, wasn't getting gassed, and he came in and took his belts back. Can he do that this time against, in my opinion, a much tougher opponent than Andy Ruiz? Now, I've been following Alexander Usyk for years now. I know exactly who Alexander Usyk is. I didn't know who Ruiz was, but I know who Usyk is. I mean, he was lighting people up at 185 at cruiserweight. Undisputed. First undisputed champ at cruiserweight. Lighting people up. There was no competition for him there. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to move up to heavyweight so I can get competition. Bring all the ops. I need all the smoke. Okay? Produce that ass. I need all the smoke. And he came up there and he didn't just show up and show out. He took 3 belts from the champion. What more can you ask for? So we're going to have that rematch between those two. And let me know what you guys think about that fight. If you guys are into boxing, let me know what you guys think about the Joshua Usyk fight. Because that's big coming up right now. So we have that fight. And then we have the Triple G Canelo trilogy coming up in September 17th, the week before my birthday. And then I believe a fight has been signed or is close to being signed between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. And then there was a fight this past Saturday in Vegas. I mean, I obviously couldn't get tickets for it, but it was sold out between Teofimo Lopez and Campos. And Lopez got the stoppage. The takeover is back. He had the layoff after the George Kambosos loss, and he came out and he looked very sharp. He looked like his stamina was there. He looked like the intensity there was there, the mindset, throwing sharp combinations, landing good shots. And then when he had his man hurt, he got him up out of here, man. Got him up out of here, man. I like what he did. I really like what he did. He did what he's supposed to and left no doubts about whether he's a contender or not. No, he definitely is. So, kudos to Teo for coming back and doing his thing. And yeah, I'm going to be making a video on that Usyk Joshua fight. So let me know what you guys think and stay tuned for that one. That's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I'll be back next week with the live stream. I got off work a little bit late tonight, so I didn't get started at 7. But we're gonna do it every Wednesday. We're gonna chop it up. You know what I mean? Leave your comments below, and I can talk about whatever y'all have in your mind. Could be basketball, could be boxing, baseball, football. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Oh, how could I forget the big fight coming up this weekend with Usman as well? The rematch against, I can't remember his name because I'm not really heavy into MMA, but obviously when Usman's fighting, I gotta check it out. And I know the last fight he had with this guy was pretty entertaining, and this guy's made a lot of improvement since then. So I'm gonna give my 2 cents on that as well. So that's it for now. Make sure you go to the YouTube page, subscribe to the channel, and leave a like on the videos, and definitely comment because it helps with the algorithm. It helps me get traction and get my videos recommended to people who are into boxing and especially the Eagles and the Raiders and whatnot. And yeah, subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell because every time I drop a video, and I'm gonna keep them coming, try to keep at least 2 videos a week. You'll know when I drop them, and I'll try to give you guys some insight that you might not necessarily find other places. Try to give you guys unique and novel thoughts and perspectives. So that's it for now, and yo, take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.